Today, I'm going to talk about body language signs of the feet and legs. Now, like any body language signs, you don't want to look at one thing and go, oh my gosh, this means this about this person. But you want to look at it as far as a signal. Are they doing one of these signs after you have said something, or are you noticing them in certain parts of the conversation? And if so, then you want to look for other signs too. You can't just look at one body language sign, but that being said, a lot of times the feet and the legs are the most honest signals when it comes to body language because people don't control their legs and their feet as much as they do other parts of their body language, such as the hands. We're not always aware of what we're doing with our legs and our feet. First of all, let's talk about body language signals of the feet. When you're noticing a person's feet, you want to look at the orientation, the direction that they're pointed, because normally feet point in the direction that they want to go. So if somebody is talking to you and their feet are pointed towards you, then that can mean they are engaged in the conversation. They have their attention focused on you. Versus if their feet turn away, then that can mean that they want to leave the conversation or they're disinterested in the conversation. Sometimes you'll notice one foot pointing away, and it can mean at that point that they're ready to end the conversation because they're ready to leave. Even when studying body language myself and becoming more aware of what I'm doing myself, I caught myself having a conversation with someone who was talking to me, and I realized that one of my feet was pointed away. You see, I was planning to leave, but then I realized I didn't really have to leave, and I really just needed to stand there and give him my attention to hear what was it that he was trying to say. So I purposefully pointed my foot back to him to listen to the rest of what he was trying to tell me. And when I did that, it made me pay more attention to him as well. Not only was it the physical part of me that was ready to leave, but my attention was no longer focused as well. When someone is sitting and their feet are tucked under the chair, that is a sign that they could be anxious, that they're trying to make themselves look smaller. Because when we hide certain parts of our bodies, like when we're hiding our hands or we're hiding our feet, then we're becoming smaller in the eyes of other people. So for instance, if somebody doesn't want to be noticed or somebody doesn't want to be called on, you may see them slide their feet under a chair. Now let's talk about body language of the legs. Whenever somebody has their legs crossed, like a lot of people do cross their legs when they're sitting down, and the legs are crossed towards another person, then that means they're interested in the person, they're interested in the conversation, they feel comfortable. And when the legs are crossed away in the other direction, away from the other person, then it can mean that there's some distancing there. It doesn't necessarily mean they don't like the person, but it could mean that they're not as comfortable, maybe even in the topic of conversation. They're using their legs and the angle of their body to block themselves from the other person or from what's being talked about. Now, what about when people are standing and the position of their legs, and they're standing with their legs apart like they are almost planted in the ground? Then that is a sign that that person is feeling very confident and in control at the time. On the other hand, if a person is standing with their legs together very tightly, their feet are together, then that could be a sign that they are wanting to make themselves smaller, that they're feeling maybe not so confident at the time. And then what about the bouncing leg? We've all seen this. When people shake their leg, is that positive? Is that negative? What's going on? It can be a variety of things. Some people actually shake their leg just out of habit and it doesn't mean anything at all. However, if you notice that somebody starts shaking their leg at a certain time, then look for other signs. Could it be that they are anxious about something? Maybe they're getting ready to be recognized in front of a group of people. Maybe they're waiting to see if their name is called for something. It's that anxiousness, it's that excitement that they're waiting for, and they will shake their leg. Sometimes people will do it whenever they're restless or impatient. For instance, maybe they're ready to leave and they're sitting down and all at once their legs start shaking because they're ready to go. On the other hand, if the person has a smiling face, if they're leaning in and they're shaking their leg, then it could be that they're very excited maybe about what you're telling them or what you're saying. So that sense of excitement. So as I mentioned, with all of these body language signs, they're just signs, they're just signals. It's not that you can look at one thing and know the whole story. So make sure and check out, what is their facial expression? What is the rest of their body doing? Do they look comfortable or do they look like they're ill at ease? I once heard that one of the best ways to really understand body language is to start studying your own body language. So these body language videos are not meant, once again, to tell the whole story, but it's just to give you little signals, little pieces of information to help you understand on the nonverbal level. If you have found this video helpful, I hope you'll share it and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.